Hey, this is Andrew Brown from the AWS Cloud Project Bootcamp, and we were able to successfully deploy our networking layer. Let's go ahead and see what we can do with visualizing this out in our as a new chart. So this is a great opportunity for us to revisit what we learned way back in the day. And if you can't accomplish what you can in the free tier of Lucidcharts, go ahead and do that in Draw.io. I strongly suggest that you do get the practice here and try to make it look good because, if you have to do a presentation or whatever, present that work, you want to see that you can do it. And it just takes a little bit of time. So just try to do that. So there are some resources that we have here that we know that we have. We can also look at them in CloudFormation, but we are going to try to be as detailed as we can. And so the idea is that we'll have three private subnets, 3 public subnets, and so a few other things here. So what I'll do is go over here and we can search, but sometimes we end up with the older icons and I don't like that. So what I'm looking for is we have our AZs. So here I have AZ, an AZ, and an AZ. And I'm going to bring these up and we'll just bring these up here. We also have subnets. So we have public subnets and then we have one for private subnets. And so now we know that we'll have three for each. So I'll just try to, it's not exactly how I want, but normally I make my diagrams in Adobe XD, which used to be free software, but is now paid. So I'm going to just try to use what everyone else would have access to, and we'll just use this. Okay, so we'll go ahead and paste this. Hold on here. Sorry, I'm a little bit flustered because the copy pasting isn't working how I wanted to. I'm just trying to say that I'm used to using different software for making my diagrams for charts, but we'll work through it. Sorry. Anyway, so here's one. And I'm just going to go ahead and delete those, and we'll just focus on getting this one working. Now, we do have the title here in the top left corner, and that's how the AWS diagram likes it. I personally don't like that it's here, and I'm just going to rename this to AZ1. And so it'd be nice if I could bring this text here to the left. I can. It's not exactly how I'd like it, but that's better. And so for me, I'm going to indicate exactly what it is. So this is going to be CA Central 1A. Okay. And then in here we have our public subnet. So this will be subnet pub 1. And then here we'll have subnet priv 1. Okay, so we know exactly what those are. Then what we'll do is we'll copy this and we'll bring this down. Okay, well, I guess there's other things that we need to connect to. So we do also have our route tables. So let's see if we can find that. Route tables here. Route table for AWS. And that looks like the new icon, so that's okay if we use that. So that's our route table. Can we just get a route? Will that be represented in AWS? Don't see it. Okay, but that's okay. We do have, what's a VPC router? And why is that there? We'll look it up. VPC router. A route table contains a set of rules called routes that determine where things go. And I'm just looking for the router. Your VPC has an implicit router, and you use the route tables to control where traffic is directed. So I guess maybe what this icon here is representing is the implicit VPC router. Because this would used to sit on the... yeah, I guess that's right. I guess it's just because it says router there, but this is the usual icon that we would use. But, that would be the entry point into our VPC. Let's go just clear this out here for a moment. We'll hit enter, or just clear the shapes. And what I'm looking for is our VPC. So there's our virtual private cloud. Okay. And, I guess route tables don't necessarily sit within the VPC. They go through a router here. And so maybe what we can do is just go here and place it here. Okay. And I'm also going to turn this document so that it's page settings, and we will just go infinite canvas so we can see exactly what we're doing. Okay, so we have our route table up here, and we do have some routes. We know we have a route for 1 to the actual table, so we're going to assume that we do this here. And so this one will be to local, and it would be 10.0.0.0/32. So this would represent a route to there. We know we have an internet gateway. So let's see if we can find that. So we'll type in gateway here. And I'm looking for the AWS icon for that. So we have an internet gateway. Okay, and then the route for this is going to go here. And this is 0.0.0.0/32. All right. I'm going to name this what it's supposed to be. So this is called our CRUDder. So this is the thing is, should we name it with the full names? We probably could do that. Probably a good idea. CRUDder. I'm just going to use the full names for all these things. CRUDder. And that's AZ1, which is our logical name that we used in our diagram prior. I don't know. I guess it's up to us whether we want to do it that way or not, but maybe I'll just leave those out for now. As long as we know what is going on in this diagram. But we have a route table, and this is our CRUDder RT. And then over here, we have our internet gateway. So this is our CRUDder IGW out to the internet. This thing is implicit. And it would route into this namespace here. So we can click into this one. We can enter, and we can just say 10.0.0.0/32. Okay. In our subnet here, we have this one here. So this is 10.0.0.0/22. And this one here is going to be 10.0.0.0.0/22. We'll go take a look at what it's supposed to actually be. So the first subnet, so this is 0, 1, or say 1, 2, 3. So it'd be 12, 16, 20. So this one would be 12 here. And we need to have another AZ here, so I'm just copying this. And we'll paste this in here. We'll call this one AZ2. And we'll call this B. And this one will be subnet 2 here. And so this one would be 4. And this would be 12 plus 4, which is 16. Okay. And then we'll copy this again. And we'll go here. We'll define that as D. This will be 3. This will be 3 as well. And then here, this is going to be 20. And then over here, this one's going to be 8. Yeah, we got that right. So we have those defined in our diagram. What else are we missing? So we also have in here in a gateway, our route table. We did attach that. That is represented with that attachment. We have direct association with these subnets. So, you know, the question is whether we want to represent that or not. Because they are directly associated in here. I suppose one way we could do that is we could go and we could, because it'd probably go through the router. And so we could probably choose like a choke point for all these. So maybe I could start down here. And we go out to the side here. And I do want this to go out like this. Okay. And we'll drag it out. I'll put the line here. And we'll see if we can grab it this way. I do want it to kind of hang down a bit so we can clearly see it. Okay, so let's just zoom in here. You know, again, with Adobe XD, I would have full control, or Illustrator, but you know, that is expensive software. I'm not going to, and it's also like if you specialize in that kind of stuff, so I don't think people want everyone having to do that. Another thing we could just do is just point this, whoops, bring this down like this, and then bring this fellow down here. But you can see it needs a little bit of help to figure out what it should look like. There we go. And then I'll just take that end off of there like this, so there's none. Okay, and we could even change this point here to be something else, like a circle or a little diamond or circle. It's just whatever we want this to represent. We could even do that for fun. We could just say direct associations. Direct associations subnet. Describe what's going on there, bring that font down a little bit. And so we're basically representing that relationship there. I kind of want to bring these up a bit because I can't really see what's going on with these lines. There we go. And we can bring this one up here a bit. There, that's nice. That's starting to work. This one is a little bit upset, but there we go. We'll just push that up a bit here. But yeah, it just requires a lot of finessing to get the diagram the way you want it to look. Okay, so yeah, we have our direct there. You know, I really do like those jump lines. We'll bring that in page setting here, and we'll turn on our jump lines. It was under what, grid or guides? Line settings, jump lines. There we go. And I mean, it should be jumping over stuff, but here, you know, these lines, this isn't a line it would jump over because this is a dash border. So it would not know to do that, which is kind of unfortunate, but I guess that's just what we got there. I'm going to bring these up as well. And again, we're just going to try to best represent what's going on in our CloudFormation template. Okay, and so here, we can go here. I can just bring the line up like that. And I'll take the end off there, and I'll put this fun one on as such. And then we'll go from here as well. And we'll just point it to that tip there. And we'll take that off, and we will then go ahead and bring that one in there. I'm not sure if that would have like a weird cut effect there. It does. So it's up to you if you want to correct that. It's kind of hard because we have to drag it. Yeah, see, now it's trying to jump over the line. I mean, I suppose we could just have it jump the line like that. And then it's nice and clear. Yeah, I think that's totally fine. We'll just jump the line. And if we want, we could do it similarly there, but that's not the line that drags out, so we'll just leave it alone. And so we will go here. I'm just going to drag these out. I'm just trying to think. So like if we wanted this to look correctly, we'd actually have to drag from the bottom on here. So what I'm going to do is take this one out. I know I'm getting really finicky here, but I just like to make my things look really nice. And so I'm going to go from this line down and pull it up and bring it over. And then we'll have nice clean jump lines, because then these things can terminate right here like this. And then this one can just terminate like that. And same story here. I mean, I guess we don't even need jump lines if we just do it this way. So I suppose we could just reverse the order here and bring it down. we could bring this in like that a bit. See, it's very finicky. And I think this would actually have to go over here, which is totally fine. It does drag everything out of the way, though, which is kind of frustrating. But, you know, we almost got it here, so we'll bring this up. But it's great practice to kind of get exactly what we want in terms of our diagramming. So I don't think it's that bad of an idea. And so we'll go up and do that. And then we can have this nice clean line like this. And we'll just say none on this one. Bring it on over here. And we'll do the same thing here. We'll bring this line as such here. And then we can go back up here and just say, this is subnet direct associations. We'll just unbold that, bring this down a couple. I think we can shift this over as well. And then those lines are a bit messed up. So you can see it's always about playing with these until you get it right. But a good diagram is worth it. Bring that up a little bit more. And then this one here, we'll bring that and we'll just make it like this. Great. And so, yeah, there we go. So those are now associated with it. Kind of don't like that this is so close here. Yeah, I guess I don't mind that it's doing that. That's fine. As long as we know. And I guess the router is technically inside the VPC. I mean, it depends like how you want to represent it, because it basically is the entry point into the VPC. So no, I guess it's fine there on the outside. I think a lot of people would do that for their design. And then this is called like CRUDR VPC. So we just change that to be that case, CRUDR VPC. This is the VPC router. We don't even have, it's implicit, so we can just take the name out there. Okay. And so, yeah, I think that represents that. Now we do have CloudFormation here as lines that we can go around to define our stack. Pretty sure we do. CloudFormation, where are you? At least I could have swore there was one, CloudFormation. There's definitely CloudFormation icons. So, you know, there's like this little icon here. And so, you know, we could represent, oh, there's this one and this one. This is a change set. This is a stack. And so, you know, we could represent this in some way, but for the time being, we're just going to have like CRUDR networking. And this is probably for stack sets in specific. But we could maybe represent this as our entire like CRUDR stack if we wanted to. And so, you know, AWS doesn't necessarily have those boxes there. We could just drag them out ourselves and kind of make our own boxes. So here, I can just drag this out here. I don't want rounded corners on there. I'm not sure if we could get those off of that. I want like a sharp square. How do we get rid of rounding? Get rid of rounding, and this is in Lucid chart. Okay, so if we go up over to here, we can just take this off with that. There we go. And so now we can just drag this out, bring this to the back. And I mean, we could have it hugged in the corner like that. I'm just going to do it this way. We could also just revert the lines in here. So this is showing up as that. But if I go to white, then what we can do is select this color here. Not sure how we can, whoops. I want to grab that color. Just grab that there. And so what I can do is make another square here. Whoops. And then this one can be that color. So just place that in there like that for fun. And we'll clear that out. We'll go up here and bring off those rounded corners. And so now if we bring it back, now you can see that's the stack, right? And then we could go and take out this part, the credit stack part. And so now we're kind of making this kind of representation that AWS has, which I think is kind of fun that we're doing that. And it's not a perfect box, but it's fine enough. We'll go down here and I want to have that line color for the line. So go here. I think we'll have it in our clipboard. We do, good. And so now that line is represented there. So we have credit networking. And we were kind of doing this other day before where we were like talking about what's dependent on what. And so here, we might want to represent like how these things are dependent on each one. So creditor stack here. And so there's creditor networking. We just say networking. We might have one for the cluster itself. Come on. This is not letting me select the right thing. Oh, it's because it's on the inside. That's fine. We have networking. We'll have cluster. We'll have the service. We'll have the CI/CD for sure. And so we'll just have to continually to think about like where do we want to have this stuff and things that are not tracked by this. So we definitely have in here a bucket that's not part of this at all. So we go here, we'll just say bucket, and this will be like CFN artifacts. I could just have like an association here. All CFN uploads are stored in this bucket. So we know exactly where that is. I think Shift Enter, there we go. And so the idea is we're just talking about where our stuff is so that it's nice and clear. But yeah, like it would be nice to wrap all this stuff like these layers and define their exact boundaries of where they are. We'll probably come back to that at some point because it would be nice to be able to see that. I have been able to do it, but it just depends on how all this stuff is working. Notice this is not the same height as this one. We can go here and I'll fix that later. But let's just see if we're missing anything in our template. We do have these outputted values, so it might be useful to define those over here in our exports. So we'll bring this over here for a moment. And I'm just going to make this a bit bigger. And then for this, you know, it will have like certain columns. So like the thing is with the networking, the cluster is dependent on certain things. So there are things that we will want to have. I think that I would just get a block like this. And so we have things like VPC ID here. I'll just bring that down a couple ticks. We have there's a way to fix the spacing here so it's not trying to have so much spacing, but you know, we have these outputs here and we'll just go ahead and grab them. Subnet CIDR block here. Subnet IDs. Availability zones. Okay, and so the idea is that these will be their outputs. How can we fix the spacing there? This is the height of the value, right? So that's not it. Get rid of padding in Lucid. Cell padding feature. There is a T there. Is there that? Oh, right here. Okay, so there's the padding. Great. I'm going to go to all these here and just take it off. All right. And then we can just kind of now shrink this even a bit smaller. We could also bring down the font here so that they're all, I don't know, a bit smaller here. And then I can just bring these down. Is that. And so then the idea is that we can say, okay, well, we know that this template, the cluster, is going to rely on this outputted value for our cross-reference stack. Okay, I'm not sure why it's making that so hard for me to reference that, but from this, then we can do that, okay? Just got to give these more room, I guess. And so that's what we'll do. We'll just try to figure that out and define it as we go. It'll be a little bit better when we define the second one, but we are going to have cross-reference stacks in this, nested stacks, all sorts of fun stuff. But yeah, that's our diagram. And so, you know, I do want you to make diagrams because it will help us understand everything that's going on there, and also just shows that you also understand the application and that you can make them. I know we did do that in the first week, but I think it's great practice. We'll see you in the next one, okay? Ciao, ciao.